Blind Louise by George Washington Dewey.
George W. Dewey lived from the year 1818 to 1896. He was an American poet. Blind Louise was published in 1842 in Rufus W. Griswold's anthology titled Poets and Poetry of America, which was the most comprehensive collection of verse in its time. Children, the lady in this picture, she is not blind but is visually impaired, that is, her sense of sight is gradually decreasing. So, this lady, she does not give up and accepts the adversity, that is, the harsh situations in her life, with a lot of courage. Children, this poem talks about this lady who is happily sitting on the bench in the garden with beautiful flowers and butterflies around her. The sun rays is falling upon her and she seems to be very happy with hope, and she doesn't seem to be sad. Now what's adversity? That is the harsh and the adverse situation. Here the lady, she knows that she would gradually lose her eyesight. She would slowly become blind. So before losing her eyesight, she had one and only wish to see spring season, to not have the dark memory of the world before she loses her sight. She wanted to have the lovely memory of the world being colorful and to enjoy the beauty, greenery of spring and summer. She wanted this feeling to be in her heart as a last memory. But was her wish fulfilled? Let's understand and know it through the poem.
She knew that she was growing blind, foresaw the dreary night that soon would fall without a star upon her fading sight.
Stanza One Explanation. This lady, she already knew that she was going to be blind eventually. She could foresee it, that is, she could already predict the dreary night. Here, dreary means dull, and it has been used as a metaphor for her world, which would soon become dull and that will soon be filled with darkness. So here the poet uses the metaphor dull as like when at night we look at the sky and if we find no stars, how would you feel looking at the empty sky at night? How will the sky look without any shining star? So here the lady, she knew that the brightness, that is the light that the lady's sight can bring, is soon going to fade away like the sky without any stars.
Yet never did she make complaint, but prayed each day might bring a beauty to her waning eyes, the loveliness of spring.
Stanza Two Explanation. Here the poet says that this lady never complained about that, like, I'm going to get blind, what will I do? How will I live? But instead she prayed each day that before she goes completely blind, she wanted to see the loveliness of the spring season. That is, she wanted to have the memory of a colorful, bright world, not a sad or dull world.
She dreaded that eclipse which might perpetually enclose sad memories of a leafless world, a spectral realm of snows.
Stanza 3 Explanation. The lady here, she is fearful of the fact that the darkness which is completely going to surround her would forever enclose sad memories of this world in her heart. The world right now looks like a kingdom of snow, as the whole world is wearing the crown of snow because it's winter season. So she is eagerly waiting for the spring season. She is fearful that the eclipse, here the poet is comparing the eclipse with the darkness of which the woman is going to be surrounded by losing her sight. Here again, metaphor is used. This eclipse would bring darkness and it would perpetually enclose, that means it would permanently, it's going to enclose, means surround her with the sad memories of the sleepless world because of autumn season. Because of this season, all the leaves shed off and the nature looks really dull. So she is fearful if she is surrounded by darkness before spring season, then she has to carry the sad memories of the sleepless world, which looks like the kingdom of ghosts, whereas the whole world is wearing the crown that is filled with snow. Students, here the winter landscape is being compared to the kingdom of snow because everything in winter is covered with snow.
She'd rather that the verdure left an evergreen to shine within her heart.
The poet says that when we came there, we found her seated at her old accustomed, means familiar place, where she sat usually. A midnight in her sightless eyes and moon upon her face. Here the poet is talking about two times of the day. One is midnight and the other is morn, that is morning. Here midnight is said where it's completely dark. Here it refers to her eyesight, as for now her eyesight was taken away and now she was blind. By the time it was spring and summer season, it was sightless, but there was morning on her face, as morning is bright, filled with warmth and freshness.